Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to go back to the pre-production stage of the original Jurassic Park. As many of you probably already know by now, the development of the first film was quite a few years in the making. Stan Winston began designing his massive dinosaur animatronics a few years before 1993, and before Crichton's book was even published, he and Steven Spielberg were already talking about making 6 films out of the story that he'd recently written. It's during these early days that the film was searching for actors to portray the book's iconic characters, and believe it or not, the first JP movie almost went with a very different person in the role of Alan Grant. Back in 2011, a special screening was held for the 30th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and during this screening, both Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg actually got to sit down and do a Q&A with the audience who were in attendance. It didn't take too long for the subject to rack focus to another massively successful Spielberg property during this event, and what the two men started to talk about was pretty interesting to say the least.
George coincidentally asked me to see a cut of Empire Strikes Back. And when the movie was over, I just walked over to George and I said, "We have our Indiana Jones." He said, "Who?" And I said, "That guy, Han Solo. That's Indiana Jones." And then George said, "Well, yeah, he's a great actor, but he's identified with this character now, in Star Wars." And I said, "Yes, but he's an actor. They're supposed to be identified with other characters as well." And George had never thought about Harrison in that same context, but he immediately, at that point, he said, "Yeah, I think it'd be great."
It's an absolute delight to revisit this character. I have a chance to work with Steven again. Who only hires me for Indiana Jones. What about E.T.? But I'm an actor, you know?
I hope I don't embarrass you. You know who I offered Jurassic Park to? This guy.
Yeah.
Alan Grant, first offer to Harrison.
Yeah, well, anyway.
I think what really scared Harrison was I had the art department, and I still have the painting. I drew a painting of the character of Alan Grant with a kid, Lex and Timmy, in each hand, running toward camera and a huge T-Rex chasing after him, and I told him to put Harrison's face on the character. I think that might have done the trick.
T-Rex?
No, the character, Alan Grant.
So yeah, Sam Neill, the guy we all know and instantly identify with as being Alan Grant, was actually not Steven Spielberg's first choice for the character. Had Harrison said yes, we may be talking about a very different movie and franchise in the modern day. Now, what I personally think about this old bit of information is that Sam Neill was actually the better fit for the character. I say this as a massive fan of the Indiana Jones movies. I actually have posters of the first 3 films in my office. Harrison Ford is a legitimate good actor, and he's done some incredible work in the past. But hiring him as a paleontologist with a fedora, after we've already seen him as an archaeologist with a fedora, might have been stretching it a bit too much. I can see how some people would have asked why Jurassic Park wasn't just another Indiana Jones movie if it had come out with Harrison in the role in the early 90s. So in my personal opinion, going with someone else was the smart thing to do. And apart from all of that, Sam Neill honestly did an extremely good job in the movie. He portrays a man that's radically different than Indiana Jones and brought Alan Grant to life in a way that I really don't think anyone else could have done. As a kid who saw the original Jurassic Park all those years ago, the persona and influence of Dr. Grant on my childhood was pretty significant, as it was for many other kids of the 1990s. How many children from back in the day said they wanted to be a paleontologist all because of this guy's role in the movie? It was a pretty big deal. Another thing that I find pretty interesting about this interview that I don't see too many people talking about is the famous concept art of the T-Rex chasing Grant and the kids actually has Harrison Ford in the role of the lead character. It's pretty obvious to point out in retrospect, but for people who didn't know, I'm sure they'll find that bit of trivia to be pretty cool. Anyways, what do all of you guys think about this? What do you personally think Jurassic Park would have been like if Harrison Ford played Dr. Grant? Would it have been significantly different, or do you think it would have been more of the same? Whatever your own thoughts and opinions may be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it really means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I seriously am extremely thankful for everything that you guys do to help. Honestly, it means the world. Now I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and hope that you all enjoy today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.